Hi, Heather.
Hello, Kerissa.
Welcome to the Journeys with PDA Coffee Chat podcast recap. We're calling it a recap or a pre-cap
A
or
pre-cap. I
something
like
like
that.
that.
Like
Yeah,
pre-cap. Yes, that's perfect.
yeah.
I think before I tried to say it was a prequel, but that didn't fit very well. But I like a pre-cap.
So we want
Not
to
to
tell
be
you
not to be not to be confused with a nightcap, which is something totally different.
we just want to give you a quick rundown on what we talk about in this episode. So in this episode, we have a special guest and a very close special friend of ours. Who is it, Heather?
Her name is Bailey. She is our friend Bailey. Bailey has been a friend of Journeys with PDA for going on probably 5 years now.
So we've had the privilege of knowing Bailey as all of us have worked through PDA parenting, discovering our own quirks and uniques and neurodivergence. And so in this episode, Bailey shares what that journey looked like for her and her family. And so she is a PDAer herself and has a PDA child.
That's right. And so much, what really resonates with her story and her journey is just so like many of us, where we discover our neurodiversity as a parent, like we discover our diagnoses as we are exploring our child's possible diagnosis. So, we sat there, the three of us had a conversation as three late diagnosed neurodivergent women. And yeah.
So we talk a lot about what it looks like in real life, what kind of accommodations we need as parents, and then also how those accommodations can help us connect deeper with our kids.
That's right.
So
because knowing us, knowing ourselves is only going to help us support our children more.
Absolutely. So I hope everybody enjoys this conversation as much as we did. There is a lot of laughter in this episode.
Yes. And a couple cuss words.
There is a couple cuss
words.
So
because that's what we do.
It happens.
It does.
Especially when you start to develop your authentic self.
That's right.
So take a listen and enjoy.
All righty. Hello and welcome to the Journeys with PDA Coffee Chat podcast, where we seek community connection and co-regulation while chatting about all things PDA. Hello and welcome to Journeys with PDA Coffee Chat podcast. I'm Heather.
Kerissa, and today we have a very special guest. All of our guests on the podcast are special, and we love everybody who joins us. But today, our guest is actually a very close friend, a real life friend. And so we are so excited to be able to chat and to introduce everybody to our really good friend, Bailey. So Bailey, we would love for you to introduce yourself, just anything, and then how are you kind of connected in with PDA?
Hi.
Hello, it's Bailey. Bailey.
I'm so happy. And I am upregulated right now. I'm up. I'm not dysregulated. I'm up because
Awesome.
I'm excited to be with my friends and people I feel safe with and comfortable and who I love, and then that we can share all of that and everything that we're going to talk about. So very happy, but aware that I am up, and I'm always trying to tune into that these days so that I can make sure I don't get so far up that I can't come back down.
Is it helpful when people around you match your energy, or is it more helpful if I'm just wondering how we set the tone here? Like,
right.
off the bat, I have us off topic.
Yeah, so no, yeah, great question. Because I'm a PDAer, right? Adult diagnosed about a year after my child, which is often the way many of us come to it these days. Um, and so your question is such a good one because we're often thinking about, I know I'm often thinking about, and many parents and caregivers and people who love PDAers are thinking about when they're up, and I can tell they're up,
Mm-hmm.
and they may not be able to tell they're up. Um, what should I do here? Right? Like, what's the best approach? And I think, as with all things PDA and humans, like, there just isn't a one size fits all. I do think that regardless of person and individual's level of self-awareness. So for me at where I'm at in my life right now, self-awareness is quite high compared to the first 38, 37 years of my life where it was like literally non-existent. Um, so those are different. The responses are going to be different. So because I have awareness, because I'm with people I feel really safe with, I feel like I could handle kind of whatever. But if we're talking just broad view, what I would try to do ideally if I'm with a PDAer who seems up and may or may not be aware that this could take them very quickly right over the edge, with all of us with it. If that's the case, and I want to help, right? Um, you're absolutely right that a bit of matching, I think, is affirming, whereas a lot of times for me in my life, my energy is just big. My energy is really big, whether it's good, bad, in between, whatever it is, it's really big. Um, and so there's a constant, like a tape loop of having that invalidated by what you see reflected back from others.
Mm-hmm.
That is really hard. It's hard to deal with, hard to manage, and especially if you don't have any awareness, which I have a lot of experience doing, not being aware because I didn't have any information, no way to understand myself, then um, someone else reacting, like if someone was like, "Oh, hi, Bailey," and tried to really slow it down, which is 100% actually what my nervous system needs. But my reaction to that would have been like, I absolutely hate you.
I
Like,
was just okay. So the very first thought that, or two words that popped into my head when you said it in that way was con. Yeah, two words: condescending bitch.
yeah, yeah,
Like,
exactly, right. Which
that was
isn't,
how. Right? No. Yep.
it's just, it's that nervous system
Yep.
reaction of someone is, yeah, trying to control me, like literally, like I'm feeling very much that they're trying to say how I should feel right now with their tone.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a very difficult response to like um change without a lot of practice.
It
So
it also to me feels very reminiscent of like um what our childhood was like,
Yes.
mm,
in that it, when you sort of did get kind of like excited and jumpy and maybe like a little bit of that hyper excitement, not even out of control at all, but that's very almost like giddy excited, that in my mind I flash back to being like, okay, you need to settle down. And that is actually, like that hurts because
mhm.
you're like, no, like I'm happy, I'm excited. And so why is it not okay for me to show that I'm excited or that I'm happy? And so that to me is, I think, something that's also kind of pushed over onto our kids. If they are getting a little bit giddy or silly or goofy, it's immediate like, let's just calm down.
Exactly.
But maybe if we engaged and joined the silliness in a controlled way, then that's going to be actually better for everybody's mood.
Right. Yeah. And it takes so much practice. Like, oh my
Mm-hmm.
gosh. First of all, you're unlearning all those things that that you learned deeply. And then, like you're saying, those responses that you then feed to your child, you're unlearning those. And then you're also like learning a, a human. You're learning this individual because it's not just, like I said, it's, there is no one size fits all. So you're really tuning into what does my kid or this person I love respond to? How do they respond? And trying to not go all the way to your own threat activation.
Mm-hmm.
That is, you just have to practice over and over. It takes so much practice and it's so hard because there's a lot of, at least in my experience, there's a lot of getting it wrong. Like I still get it wrong all the time, all the time.
We've been
Trying
on
to
this
keep
journey for
energy.
6 years,
Yeah,
and I still get it wrong.
yeah, yeah,
But that's part of the human condition.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
But if we
Carissa,
don't,
you were going to
but
say something.
if we don't engage, if we don't try, then we'll definitely not get it right. And
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
I think about it's always those like little bitty tiny things like, are you excited because you're excited? Are you excited because you're nervous? Are you excited because you're not sure what to do with yourself? And
yeah.
like each one of those can all just look like silly excited, but really
Yeah,
underneath and what's brewing is like that cause is different, which also means like each one of those could go on a different path.
yeah,
So if my child is acting kind of silly, but I know it's because they're really, really nervous and really unsure what to do in that social situation, then like my level of responding to them is going to have to be a little bit different than like you're literally going to an Easter egg hunt and it's the most fun, exciting thing. And then it's like, yes, let's like everybody be silly, you know? So, like,
right, right.
really
Ugh,
looking beyond this outward picture.
yeah,
And so we have been talking so much through our other podcast episodes about there's a behavior, it's the actions we see, but there is so much more driving that behavior. And
right,
if you can't like really yourself pause and go, what's happening in the environment, what's going on with this
right, right.
person, what is brewing underneath, you know then it could be where you need to bring that calm to that child because they're really anxious and unsure, and so they might need a little bit of, obviously do not tell them to calm down. There's no person in the
No,
history of humans who was told to calm down. They were like, "Yeah, you're right. Okay, I will.
okay.
I'll just do that." But like
Okay,
it's that
Carissa,
matching.
yes, we had talked about authenticity maybe being something we wanted to talk about
Mm-hmm.
today, and it just already jumped in because when you were talking about like it's an Easter egg hunt, like um everyone like it baffles my mind now how much I used to do this and I worked so hard to do it. This like, okay, everybody's acting this way, and this is how you're supposed to be like whether it's excitement, whether it's upset, whatever, you're supposed to be like in this window. So like I've got to like, okay, get it just right. and I'm living in this like gotta get it just right little window when like so not only was I constantly holding in all of my negative, well, not constantly. I just talked with my older sister this morning about how much I truly tortured her um, because I was so dysregulated. I
Mm-hmm.
had no idea. She ended up being the receiving end of a lot of my fight because it couldn't come out anywhere else, and I felt really safe with her. But so back to authenticity and um, like we cram ourselves into this little box, but then we also cram in the joy. And so, like, I had this thought recently because authenticity and living sincerely, like, I feel so, I'm so grateful to be at a place in my life where I can just be sincere. I can
Mm-hmm.
just be my sincere self. I think we talk about like masking and your true self, like who are, and I got really caught up for a while in like, who am I? And now I'm like less interested in concrete answers and so much more interested in sincerity. And my sincere experience is often bigger, which means my joy is bigger, which is like such a beautiful, beautiful gift, not just for me, but that I can share with people. Like, my gosh. So the Easter egg hunt, right? You're looking around at the whole situation. You can see your child getting really silly and being like, you can start thinking, oh no, I see this behavior of silly. We're headed off the deep end. Or you can, like you said, assess, like, oh, wait, we're at this fun thing that's supposed to be silly and giddy and joyful. And I can either get stressed about my child's reaction and start worrying, or I can join in. I can join in this, like, I was in the grocery store recently and like a dance song came on. We just listen to whatever music, and we're at the grocery store and people are just like, grocery shopping, and I am dancing because there's a dance song on, and it struck me like, oh, I can, that makes sense because
Mm-hmm.
that's just like, if I can move sincerely with the energy of a room, I'm good. It's all of the like, I've walked into a room and I can tell people are smushing in. And so it feels like we're all supposed to smush in, but like something's going on, bad, good, whatever. Okay, I've talked enough. Oh my gosh.
I but that's such a real, it's such a real experience, and especially with in the context of PDA, a lot of the time what we're experiencing are what are considered negative behaviors, but how much of that is also a result of not being able to just be sincere or authentic, and how much of that is because also when we get on that flip side of very excited or silly, there we're still told to calm down
Too
and
much.
yeah, too
Diminish
much.
ourselves.
It's a little too
Yes.
much. Yeah.
It's time to be smaller. Let's just be smaller. You're too much
Mhm.
right now.
Yeah.
Let's tamp it down a bit. I just realized I'm not sure we started off asking you to introduce yourself, and then I immediately, in ADHD fashion, took us completely off any kind of um, path
On track.
we would, yeah, something. I'm not even sure.
Because we just
We let our
jumped in
listeners
I
to
know,
be authentic.
you
That's
know,
it.
Right, the connection
the
and
connection here.
yeah, yeah.
So let's okay. Bailey.
Mhm.
Okay. I love it. Can you please let us know what your connection to PDA is?
Yeah, and
That would
journey.
be amazing.
I'd be
Thank you.
happy to. Um, yeah, so I already mentioned I myself am adult diagnosed. My child went into deep autistic burnout at age 7, and we had no idea how to support him. And I had no idea how long I had been uh, smushing in the box,
Mm-hmm.
smushing myself. Um, so I found Journeys like right away because I knew I was going to need support. I knew we had a way of understanding our kid all of a sudden, but and supporting him, but I had this urgent, right, like urgent need to
Sure.
like do all the
Do
things
all the things.
and
Yep.
do all the things right away. And so hopped right onto like the first coffee chat that I could, and that was pretty much the beginning and the end because like I just have never left. Like I don't always come to the coffee chats with work and stuff, but I'm always there. And every time I do come, um, it's just so affirming to be able to be in a digital room with people who just already get it. Um, so yeah, that was in 2021, I believe. And then right about a year later, I went into my own deep burnout. Basically, it was like, okay, we're not in crisis anymore, and now I can collapse.
Mm-hmm.
And it's time to deal with all of the accumulated stuff we've been as a family noticing, like, oh, that's also something you do. Oh, that's not how everybody works on the inside. So, um, yeah, went and pursued an assessment, thought I would get an ADHD diagnosis so that I could at least get some kind of accommodations at work. And instead, they were like, well, no, we don't actually think you are ADHD or have ADHD, but we do think you're autistic. So I was incredibly lucky to find someone. I'm in Oklahoma, in the middle of Oklahoma,
You
who
are incredibly lucky to have found somebody in the middle
yeah,
of Oklahoma.
happened to have awareness. Not, I don't know that she had that much awareness about PDA specifically, but she had awareness of female presentation, and she had awareness of just like atypical presentation. So when she was like talking through my diagnosis, she was able to explain in a way that made complete sense with through the PDA lens how I fit the profile. And yeah, that was another beginning. It was like a year of processing that, and all the while, you know, trying to help my kid be okay in the world and navigate school and navigate shifting to unschooling and navigate now shifting into part-time private school stuff. So we've kind of done all the things, and are really, really fortunate to be in a good place right now. Yeah, what did I cover?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes. And I mean,
So,
and Bailey, I can remember your first coffee chat. And I can tell you from then to right now, your transformation and your budding into who you are has just, it's been a privilege to be able to see it, Bailey.
Yeah.
And I mean that with, I mean that with all my heart. It's been a
Thank
privilege.
you.
so one of the things that I really, really want to emphasize in your story that you shared, um, is how important it is for people to realize the length of time
Mm,
that you put in from your child's in deep burnout, you're in deep burnout, to like being right here, right now, and going, I have so much more understanding of myself. And I feel like we're in an okay place. And I think that that can be something that people get really stuck in,
Mm-hmm.
is you, when you're in that hard place and you want out and you just want things to be better right
mhm.
now. But like, so I think you said it was like 2021 when you really like entered into all of this.
Mm-hmm.
And so like that's how much time it takes. Heather and I very similar in, I'm thinking like, oh, like almost 6 years of doing this every day, trying to understand my kids better, trying to understand myself better. And so I think that also speaks hope to people.
Mm. I know it did to me, being able to see all of you be that little bit further along in your journey, in your journeys.
And
Um,
we had people who were further along than us, who
mhm,
who were guides for us.
mhm, mhm. Because there really, otherwise, there just wasn't.
Mm-mm.
I mean, for the most of us, I've been incredibly fortunate to have family members that want to be able to support. Um, and even with that, there was a time like we kind of needed to go be on an island for a couple years. Our family, we needed to be on our little island and recover and come to know ourselves and each other deeply. Um, find some deep neurological safety before we could start opening that door again, before we could get on our little boats or even invite other people's boats to the island, like we just, yeah. And so you're right, the timeline is not quick. There's
Mm-mm.
no pill.
No, no.
No.
And that can be really, really hard to hear when you're
Mm,
in that really
mm,
difficult burnout stage, whether it's yourself, your kids, both probably. Um, and so like one of the things I for anybody listening, I want them to be able to take away from the conversation is hope.
yeah.
And
Oh,
that
yeah.
there is hope for a better understanding and for healing and for connection. However, it's going to take a lot of work, a lot of effort, and it's a slow process. Think about like it takes a long time to reprogram your brain. Like
Hmm.
it just takes a long time. And so
Absolutely.
as we're talking more about like being authentic, we're in the process of learning how to be authentic, and that just takes time. And so I hope people realize like put in the time, like keep going.
It's
Don't
worth it.
don't stop. It is
Yeah.
worth it.
Keep
Um
going is one of my main mantras. It's just,
yes.
yeah, keep going. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's so much about just like teeny tiny steps at a time, which I think is also really frustrating for people. Like,
Sure.
so we're talking about reading that other person or that child and really understanding more than what you see on the outside.
Hmm.
That takes a lot of time to
Yeah.
be able to learn this other person, especially if it's somebody, our kids who can't just say, hey, this is how I'm feeling right now, can you walk me through That's not an option. And so we're talking about like watching how their eyes shift, the tone
Right.
of their voice,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
are they doing with their fingers and their legs, how are they moving within the
Yeah.
space or the room.
Yeah.
And that takes a lot of time
Yeah.
to
I
learn.
just, with you saying that, I just realized something that I see, I mean, as a PDAer, this is something that for me, I experience as part of my PDA. Like, I just feel people's, it's not even just energy. I feel their authenticity or inauthenticity. I feel it. I feel it. And with my child, it's so, with our kids, it's so subtle. It's so subtle, that shift from like everything is cool to like, oh, everything's, and so for other people, everything looks fine that aren't just naturally attuned to that or have spent time developing an attunement to that. But what happened, there's almost this like, it's bringing me back to this idea of stuffing in the box because there's this like energetic stilling that happens when I see my kid shift and myself from I'm everything's good to like something just happened, my nervous system is clicking on, but I have to keep I everything looks exactly the same. There's an energetic like tightening. There's like a tightening.
Yes.
So
Mm-hmm.
I say that just to say that may make no sense to a lot of people, and there might be one person out there that the next time they look at their kid, they go, "Oh my gosh, like I can
Yeah,
sense
they're like,
that."
oh, that
Whoa.
was it. Like, that was,
Or there's people who are going to be listening to this going, that's what that is.
Right,
yeah,
right, right.
That's
Yes.
it. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. I tend to think there's so much that we actually as humans are already capable of and can be attuned to, but we've kind of trained ourselves out of a lot of it. Yeah, so
it's
uh,
almost as if we have to retrain ourselves into our authentic self. And
yeah,
that takes a really, really long time. And one of the things is when you're looking at your kids, because we're all parents, right? So when we're
mhm,
looking at our kids and you have this person who you don't want them to be miserable and you want them to find a way to fit into the world, and so you're trying to lead and guide them in this thing, but really, if you don't figure it out for your own self, if you don't start finding that authenticity in you and developing it and growing in that, then it's really, really hard for them to do it. They need to
yep,
see
yep,
someone do that. And so often we have people come to our chats or whatever it is, and sometimes we have to say, hey, I know this feels really urgent for your child because we all love our kids, but actually
right,
probably need to check on yourself. And
yeah,
that can be really hard for people. But when I look at my family, and it's like what made the biggest difference in finding like this regulation and coming to a place where you feel okay and finding this
yeah,
connection, the biggest shift was actually when I started to shift and make changes on
Mm-hmm.
myself.
yeah,
and
yeah,
and that's when I was able to start to have that different perspective with the kids and control my reactions, control my nervous system. And so I had to start living my own authentic self
yeah,
so that then my kids could see that in real life. And so, and then it was like, okay, now my husband, like, he had to engage in that process. And it was like, as the grown-ups, we actually have to almost parent and reprogram ourselves,
yeah, yeah.
uh, because especially with PDA, man, they know
They
if
know
you
every
are
time.
you
They
are not.
are they are the human, like they are the human lie detectors
Yes, yes,
or the human bullshit detectors. Like
yeah,
within,
yep.
yeah,
And
And
absolutely.
it can be the tiniest thing.
the
It's
smallest.
like something about, okay, I made a food item and maybe I made some kind of like I am vegetarian, so some kind of like vegetarian meatball, and it's got only things that my child likes. Like it's got mushrooms that he'll eat, and it's like all, and I didn't put any chunks of onion because the texture is a no, but there is some onion, but I chopped it like crazy tiny, and I know he likes the flavor. And so I'm like, hey, here's this new, not new. I'm like, I usually don't even say it. I hand it to him because a lot of times food talking about it is too much. So I hand it to him and he'll say, what's this? And I'm like, oh, it's like a vegetarian meatball I made. What does it have in it? And then I'll tell him what's in it. And he's like, is that everything? Because he can tell I
Yeah.
didn't say onion.
He's like,
Like it's that small. It's those kinds of things. He can tell because inside I'm like, don't say onion. He won't eat it because if there's onion, don't say onion. He can totally read all of that. And that reminds me of like when you mentioned like the big shift that happened for you in your relationship with your kid and in like things shifting to, I mean, for me, like a little bit, I could see the light. I could see that we weren't just going to be in constant crisis forever. Was like, there was a day I was so tired. And I don't remember the exact scenario, but I remember all of the feeling of it. And I had been trying to be that calm. I had been trying to exude calm, steady presence. And my kid was sitting with this person, me, sitting with this person who's like, I am calm. And like that's exaggerated, right? Because with other people, nobody can read it, right? Like they know, they don't know. They just hear like, oh, she's fine. My kid, on the other hand, is feeling intensely how anxious I am and how stressed and how almost about to fall apart. And I'm like, it's okay. Maybe if we take a deep breath, all the things. And there was a day I was just so tired. And maybe probably I had just been in a Journeys chat and there was something about like somebody cussing in front of their kid and the surprise of what happened with that. Um, and so I just kind of like talked to him. I just was like, I can't do this. I'm just gonna talk to him. And so whatever we were talking about, I think I like shared how I actually felt about something. Like I was mad about something at work or whatever it was. And there was just this instant like we were like instantly in alignment. Instantly he was like, "Oh, okay, cool." And I'm cool because I can tell you're cool. That's all like there's nothing you're hiding.
Bailey,
Whereas
yeah,
previously it was like that's all I was doing was hiding.
yeah, that was my story. That was that was my story, Bailey, because it was the time, before we started really leaning into PDA parenting. um, I would fine him, my son, $1 if he would cuss. And then on the other side of that, he would fine me $1 if I would. So basically, we were just passing each other the same dollar bill back and forth, right? Well, with that being said, there was a time. This was the shift. Like this was a shift. He goes, "Fuck you," and I just looked at him and I said, "Well, fuck you too, buddy." And that was like, and this was like 6 years ago. So he was 10. He was 10 years old.
Yeah.
And the shock and look on his
Yeah.
face. And he looked at me, he goes, "Double reverse Uno card, mom." But it was after, that was the moment where it was like, we became, instead of me being the parent and him being the child, it was truly in that moment where we were equals. Like
Yeah.
we were
Yeah.
equals, and I saw him as an equal person. And I think it's when he started trusting me that
Hmm.
I was perceiving him as an equal person.
Mm.
and you became real.
Real. Yeah.
You were
Yeah.
a real person, not like this elusive perfect like
Yeah.
being that just
Yeah.
tells everybody what to do. Like our kids need to see us be real. They need to see us be frustrated. And
Mm.
how do you act when you're frustrated instead of like hiding in shame?
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And one of the things I started doing is I don't like to drive. I get overwhelmed, I get frustrated. And so one of the things I started doing was I would just tell the kids how I was feeling. And I would be like, oh, my hands are so sweaty and I'm so nervous right now because there's so many cars all over the place and I don't know where the turn is. And so just that realness of like,
Mhm.
I'm kind of unsure. I got really sweaty hands right now, but showing them that I'm I'm real, then that helps them be real, but it brings in that mutual where then they can start to tell you when they might be feeling nervous or when they are
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
Yep.
And then you start to meet in that middle ground, and then it can just be like, okay, well, if you're feeling overwhelmed right now, what do you want to do about it? And they might be like, I want to go to my room and I want no one to look at me. And then you're
Yeah.
good plan. Or they
Yeah.
could say, I, I need you to take some deep breaths with me. And
Mm.
it and that, but if we're always putting on the persona of perfection and
Yeah.
being above, it's that authoritarian. Ha, they can't meet us in that, and we can't meet them in it, and then
Yeah.
that's where that cycle of dysregulation just continues on and on and on.
Yeah. I want to share a story also from my experience of this, the difference between someone hiding like how they're feeling and the effect like it can have once they're not anymore. So this was years and years ago, way before diagnosis or anything. But my partner and I were talking, and I would very regularly um, be absolutely certain that he was incredibly upset with me. PDA, we're really oh, I can say whatever words I want. Overly attuned. Like I feel like I'm I tune in so much to people's faces and and then I read every little thing and it's like and then I end up misreading frequently when I'm doing that. And so I would just like consistently misread something and or sometimes probably accurately read things that there was something wrong, but then I would just assume it was something I'd done. And so there was this consistent pattern of me like, I'm sure there's something wrong. I need you to tell me what it is. Like, what can I do? What did I do? And he would just be like, no, that's not what's going on. And then eventually, my doing that enough times led to him being truly frustrated
Mm-hmm.
with me, right? And so there was a night when that was happening, and all of a sudden, so back up just a little bit, I had this crick in the back of my neck on the left side for like a year. It was this really bad crick in my neck. So I could only like turn so far and painful, everything else. So fast forward again, we're talking and I'm getting upset, and he just all of a sudden lost it. He lost it and he yelled at me and was like, this is, it had like never happened before, but he was like, I can't handle that. Whatever he said, but he just authentically lost it. I woke up the next morning and the crick in my neck was gone.
Because we
That is
hold
hold
things
it.
in our body.
So it was this bizarre, like, I didn't even, at the time especially, I didn't even know how to talk about it because it's like, what just happened? Like, does that mean I like want people to yell at me? Like, no, I'm pretty sure that's not what it is. Like, I don't think that's what happened. I really just think something was affirmed and then I could let it go. So, yeah.
It's that authentic connection, because as an autistic person, sometimes it we do overread because we're trying
Yeah,
so
so
hard.
hard.
We're trying so hard. And so when you somehow make that switch and you really hit that very authentic connection with a person, there is something that's released, like it's set free. And so for me, and I will be married 20 years this October. So I've been married a long time, and I learned very, very early on that I didn't like playing the guessing game of trying to figure out what's going on with my husband and what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to act? What does he want? What is he thinking? And so I I adopted the policy of um we're just going to say it. Like, are you okay? What's up with you? Like,
Right.
and I was like, listen, if I am upset or mad, I'm not waiting with, like, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm really upset and this is why. Now, whether I misunderstood or misread but I can't carry it and I can't
Right.
hold it.
Right.
So we're just going to go straight to the point of I'm really upset. And here's kind of what I thought happened. I don't understand what's going on with you or why this or why that. So let's just get like direct.
Yeah.
And I think that has been so critical to our relationship. And so of course this was we didn't know I was autistic. We didn't know he was ADHD. We didn't know like why the kids were crying all the time. But all I knew is like the last thing I need in my life is to have my husband and my partner in life to have a disconnect in us. I was
Right.
like, I can't
Yeah.
be guessing. And so that's where that like authentic piece comes in. And so like even just today, this morning, my husband came over to me and he was upset about the cat tearing something up. And but he was really frustrated, and so he came to me and he's like, I'm really, really frustrated and upset over this. I don't even know how to feel or what to do. And so because though he was taking his feelings coming straight to me, and we're like, all right, well, let's be upset together, right? There was no like cross wires of like now he's being grumpy or rude or like what's wrong with you? What happened? Why are you? It was like, okay,
Right.
we know exactly what's going on here. And then it immediately breaks the tension.
Right.
And
Yeah.
then it's like, okay, well, how, like, all right, let's figure out what it is that you need to feel better. And then I'm going to respect and honor that. But then it's not causing that tension within our family
Hmm.
group.
Yeah. It's definitely been a longer and more well, I can't say, like you said, 20 years. Um, but for David and I, my husband and I, it's been kind of a longer and more complicated, drawn out, kind of like moving from extreme burnout to where we are now. Communication in our marriage has been that way too. And we are, especially over these last few years, like communication is better than it has ever
Mm-hmm.
ever
Yes.
been, ever.
Yep.
And it's so good now that we can talk to each other and laugh about how, even as practiced and as good as we are at it right now, we still like
Yes.
communicate so poorly.
Is David,
We communicate so differently.
is he a normie? Is he neurotypical?
David's on his own journey,
Okay.
so I would let him speak for
That's
himself.
because
But I can definitely say he's not
my husband
normal.
my husband is way more normie than my son and I are. And it wasn't until I understood, like what I understood double empathy was, where we neurodivergent people truly we communicate better with other neurodivergent people, and neurotypical people communicate better, and with themselves. And it's, the meanings and understanding, it's very, very, it gets messy when neurotypical people and neurodivergent people try to communicate, because we are speaking the same language. We are speaking, let's say we're speaking English. However, our dialects are completely different, and the way we perceive things are completely different. And I'm with you. Like, my husband and I have had the best, we have been married 20 years. We just hit our 17th wedding anniversary, but it's really been in the past year and a half where our communication has really gotten so much better, because now there's that understanding. It feels like, like it seems to him that we're on the same page, and it seems to me that we are on the same page, but we are on the same page in completely different books, in completely different series of books. And then it's just recognizing that before you get this huge ball of misunderstanding. It's been so relieving. Like,
I think, well, and that's also like this idea of it taking longer. So for us in my marriage, I think it's definitely taken longer, because not only did I need to come to understand myself and come to recognize ways in which communication patterns that are most natural for me when I am in a threat response, right? When I'm more reactive, are not going to be super helpful. That's still really hard, because I'm not always in control of when that's going up and down, right? So there's been a longer thing where, like, I feel like I've done so much work to get to where I am now that I actually I can receive, if it's if it's put in the right box, I can now receive criticism. I can now receive, like, I don't like this and I'm upset. But if it was just like David coming to me and being like, and saying like, if there's anything like that, I'm shutting down immediately, like, still, right? Because it's really hard to shift our nervous systems and our brains. They are plastic. These things can shift and change, but it takes so much practice and time. And so I've had to multiple times over the last year or two say, like, I want you to know, like, I can tell maybe that, like, the dish situation today, I know it's stressing me out. I just need you to tell me, and I know that's hard, because I know there's this patterned history of you tell me and I shut down, but I'm inviting you to help me work on this. That's been a whole new level. And it's taking a lot of time, because there are patterns on both sides of that to rework.
Yep.
Yes, so much. So Heather put together some fun questions.
Right.
This is our rapid fire. This is something.
Oh my gosh.
This is something we're trying new this season, and in true PDA fashion, Bailey, there are no demands, and therefore
That's great, because I just put my foot. I don't know. I'm like stretching. There's lots of silly stretching happening just at the thought of rapid fire, but we're gonna see what happens.
All right, and you can pass them. You can tell me to F off, whatever you need to do. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
We also allow thumbs up, thumbs middle, and thumbs down as a means of communication. So,
but I'm sure there won't be
we have to remember
sufficient number of options for me.
We have to remember that we're not only on YouTube, but we also have people listening who
Right.
Yes. So,
Yes.
Right.
all right.
Too bad for them right now.
Too bad for them. That's right. Because first of all, they're not seeing our gorgeous faces. So if you're just listening to this, loss. What is your favorite fidget?
That's my answer.
Okay, good. What's your favorite stem?
Okay, these are hard. Favorites are so hard. Favorites are so hard. No, but listen, I can answer it. I just need to talk about why it's hard first.
Well, that's fine.
This is making it not rapid fire, which is perfect because that means I'm breaking the rules.
I like
Okay, so favorite, I wouldn't say favorite. I would say most natural and frequent. And it didn't come back till, I don't remember, 6 months to a year after diagnosis. But I do like finger flicking, and specifically there's like a circular thing.
Mm-hmm.
Look at you.
I like to do this flick with my ring finger.
Yeah, so that I feel like that, but also smiling. I've never thought about it this way before, but I'm realizing there's something that happens. There's a real like energetic release in a very positive way when I smile my true big smile. So that's
Gorgeous.
fun too.
Yes. Yes.
2 more questions, since these are not going to be rapid fire questions. In as few words as you can possibly manage, one piece of advice would you give a family just starting out on the PDA journey?
Trust your baby's heart.
Yes. That was fast.
Oh, I love
you did
it.
that, and it's beautiful. That gave me goose pimples.
Yes.
And the last one, what are you learning about yourself right now?
Sincerity. How natural and aligned and happy I feel in sincerity. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And it just feels so, just
like,
being able to be yourself.
I'm even dropping a lot of sarcasm.
The most freeing
I'm all of a sudden
ever.
like, yeah, I'm like, I'm not anti-sarcasm. Maybe I kind of am becoming anti-sarcasm. It was such a shield for me for so long. And now I'm like, actually, I find it really confusing and always have. And I never know for sure if we're kidding or not, which is half the reason I'm always like, yeah, I don't know what's going on. So actually just sincerity. Yeah.
That's amazing. Amazing.
I love it. I think that is such a beautiful takeaway. All that just sums it up so awesome. We could talk for days and days and days and days.
Yeah.
But I think that's the perfect end note. Like mic drop right there. Absolutely fantastic. Bailey, you just bring me joy being around you. Your joy feeds my joy, and I love that. We need
our joy.
Yeah,
we need friends like that. So I appreciate you so tons and muches.
Big ditto.
And we will definitely have to do this again. I already have ideas for other episodes. So thank you so much, Bailey. We really appreciate it.
Yes.
And until we do this again.
Thank you.
If you would like more information about about the PDA profile of autism, you can find out more information at our website, journeyswithpda.com. You can email us at journeyswithpda@gmail.com. We are on Facebook and Instagram. And yes, those are all the places you can find us. Smoke signals, if you want to try that, we'll give it a shot.
Thank you, Bailey, for coming and sharing your authentic self with us. And we just appreciate you. So thank you for all those who are listening and just hung out and chatted with us today.
Bye-bye, everybody. Take care.